Welcome, listeners, to today's episode of the Black Business Roundtable. I am fired up and ready to talk. It's going to be an explosive show today, I guarantee you. I am your host, Doug Blackshear, broadcasting to you live from the City of Diversity, Oakland, California. I am excited, as always, to share this podcast platform with Dr. Ashley Coleman, Doctor of Psychology and our mental health professional. As always, thank you, Donnie Glover of the BlackUSA.News, for allowing the Black Business Roundtable to be a part of your growing network dedicated to bringing the real, unfiltered news. Today, September 22nd, 2022, is officially the first day of fall or autumn equinox. In case you missed it, especially here in California, as we start another warm trend. It is the official start of spring in the Southern Hemisphere, but fall here in the Northern Hemisphere. Note from the National Day Calendar website, nationaldaycalendar.com, American Business Women's Day, honoring accomplishments of the women across the United States, like Dr. Ashley, who represents psychology at its peak in regards to what will make us stronger as a group of people. Welcome, Dr. Ashley. Hashtag American Business Women's Day. National Centenarians Day, honoring those that are celebrating 100 birthdays or more. Hashtag National Centenarians Day. The third week of September is third week of September is also the National Construction Appreciation Week. Hashtag Thanks for Building and hashtag Construction Appreciation Week, celebrating those that keep our infrastructure and us moving forward. This is also International Update Your Resume Month. That's right. Look for a new job if they're not taking care of you at your existing job. Make it an old new job. Hashtag Update Your Resume Month. Did you know there are basically 4 types of resumes? Chronological, functional, combination, and targeted. We want to also acknowledge this Hispanic Heritage Month. So we celebrate our brothers and sisters. Yes, our brothers and sisters out there. So if you have any special Bay Area events that we can announce in honor of this month, drop us a line at our email address. Thank you to their website, nationaldaycalendar.com, for our national calendar updates. I am happy to announce Dr. Eric Kelly III of the Black Business Expo Olympics has asked me to come back and deliver for a second time a speech on September 24th. That's right, folks. That's this Saturday, September 24th. And as you recall, last time I won a gold medal. I am excited to speak not only on a national stage, but international stage. That's right. The world, Craig, the world. Dr. Ashley gets that joke, and many of you do if you watch the movie Friday. I'll be on the world stage, international stage once again. I hope you will watch for the link coming shortly via my social media and listen in live, as I would be honored to have your listening support. And just a sidebar, if you notice I'm not in a suit and tie today, and the reason for that is, for those of you who follow me on art Blackshare on my Facebook and LinkedIn, I'm supporting a Black-owned clothing store called Nate's For Dress, and I will be naming that store very frequently because I want to make sure that we support our Black businesses and our Black communities because at the end of the day, our dollars count. Our dollars count, and I don't think America, I really don't think America respects our dollars. So once again, I did uh, they had a grand opening, and I went in, and it's called Nate's for Men. The grand opening was last Friday, and yes, folks, let me be clear. I feel like I have a tie on in a store bought that supports Nate's for Men, and I say supports Nate's for Men because Nate is the son of the owner who opened the store. He recently passed away, and his mother opened up this store in his memory. So I went to the grand opening and I purchased 3 shirts and 2 pair of socks. And let me tell you something, I've gotten more compliments on Nate's for Men clothing than some of my high-end suits that I wear on my show. So check out Nate's for Men clothing store at Oakland City Center and purchase and support our Black-owned business today. Okay,
I
let
was
me,
going to compliment you. Yeah, I like it. Spiffy.
girl, you should.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you some pictures, and also you can go online. They have African apparel,
Mm.
and it's you know sometimes Black people body is different than our counterparts.
Mhm.
So I put this shirt on, and let me tell you something. I've had several compliments in regards to my look. So Nate's for Men open in Oakland, California at the City Center. Check them out and tell them Doug Blackshear sent you. Hopefully she'll give me a discount because and the clothing is not that expensive. I mean, just around moderate, but it's very comfortable, and I found clothing that I like, and I'm supporting our Black businesses. Thank you. Some some current events in the news today. Leticia James is doing the damn thing. Yes, Leticia James is doing the damn thing. She is on Chumps. Excuse me. I mean Trump's behind and his children too. Let's see where this goes, audience. As could it be that New York or Georgia or both put a dent in this Teflon Don armor? And you know that's number 45 I'm talking about. Hashtag Leticia James. Supreme Court No Justice Thomas's wife, Virginia Thomas, will appear before the January 6th committee. It's about damn time. By the way, if interracial marriage ever comes before the court, how will Clarence Thomas handle that? As he's a Black man and his wife is a white woman. That one is surely he won't recuse himself, right? Right?
Mhm.
Hashtag SCOTUS No Justice. That's SCOTUS, Supreme Court Justice of the United States, Thomas. Check it out, folks. And I wonder, because as many of you may not know who are millennium, Black people were not allowed to marry white people in the United States. And we're talking 50, 60, 70 years ago. So let's see how Mr. Clarence Thomas and his wife will handle that since we're taking rights away from free Americans. Thank you. Oh, girl, I'm glad this. Where my ball? I need to start this ball. Oh my goodness.
Mm.
September 28th The January 6th committee hearings commences, and I can't wait to see what they lay out next. That is straight from the mouths of Republicans once again. Hashtag January 6th committee. September 8th, I introduced Barack D. Obama Shaw. Yes, folks, Barack Obama was on the show. I love saying that. Barack Obama was the Black Business Roundtable podcast talking with myself and Dr. Ashley, mayoral candidate for the city of Alameda here in California, who is running and with your help and support, the first elected. Now I'm clarifying this because we said the first mayor, but we meant to say elected African American man as mayor of Alameda. There was a previous woman of color, elected mayor of Alameda. So we're making, and once again, I'd like to focus on that. If we make a mistake here on the Black Business Roundtable, on that our news, we are not too proud to correct it. That's right. We correct our mistakes. Marie Gilmore was the mayor elected in December 21st, 2010 to December 2014. But the previous black man that was mayor was the acting mayor from September 17th, 2002 to December 17th, 2002 due to the death. Okay. The mayor had died due to the death of then sitting mayor Ralph Apuzzato. And I'm pretty sure I said that correctly, Apuzzato. So I want to be sure to clarify what I meant when I previously stated the first African American woman, first African American man to be elected, and that is the clarification, as mayor of Alameda, California. See him on Instagram at Barack Denzel, hashtag Barack Denzel, or Facebook, Barack Denzel. Check him out, folks. He's a force to be reckoned with. If you would like to volunteer to work on his campaign, he welcomes you. Students, adults alike in his area of social media, gurus, neighborhood canvassing and literature distribution, phone banking, PR, public relations, students wanting to get involved in a campaign are welcome to join this truly grassroots campaign. Send inquiries to Barack D. Obama, running for mayor of Alameda, California. Now, folks, we're going to have a fireworks thumbs up today because we have some candidates that won the endorsement. And actually, a few of them have been on this show locally here in Oakland, California, and Alameda County. This week's Black Business Roundtable thumbs up goes to dun, 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 Alameda County Democratic Central Committee Party endorses Janani Ramachandran. Our Janani Ramachandran got the Alameda County Democratic Central Committee endorsement. I am sending my sincerest congratulations to Janani as she announced on her social media, and I quote her, "I'm officially the sole candidate endorsed by the Alameda County Democratic Central Committee Party in our Oakland City Council District 4 campaign." I quote her again, "It is an honor to be the official Democratic choice, and I can't wait to collaborate with my fellow Democrats to build, once again, to build local government that is responsive and accountable to the needs of our community." Johnny also received the endorsement of 350,
Mm.
and that's 350 Bay Area Action, which is a San Francisco Bay Area climate justice organization. Um, Dr. Ashley, after we kick out these bums who have destroyed Oakland and Alameda County, I'm gonna send you a ticket and a moving van, and you coming back home because our people gonna need mental help to recoup from all this mental anxiety and stress that this buffoonery political regime has put upon us.
Mm.
So I'm looking to see you here, sister.
All right.
fighting for fighting for policy in California and the U.S. that will protect people and our ecology. Janani shared, we need more climate justice leaders on council. And I totally agree. We have a few, but we need more.
Mhm.
I look forward to partnering up with 350 climate warriors, Janani stated. Okay, folks, I'm going to lower the boom.
Mm-mm.
I'm going to lower the boom.
Mhm.
And this is Doug Blackshear's Black Business Roundtable thumbs down goes to. And before I name her, I'm going to tell you why. This week, within a 24-hour span, we had 4 people killed in Oakland, California.
Mm. Yeah.
2 were shot right in front of City Hall,
Mhm.
and that was on Tuesday.
Mhm.
Shot in front of City Hall while they were having a city council meeting. All right. I was just leaving that spot. No, I had just arrived to go to pick up some mail at an office over there, and the police had it taped off because it's right across the street from City Hall. We have a city that is going to
Mhm.
pounce, Dr. Ashley. And I'm gonna be perfectly clear here, folks. Under the mayorship here in Oakland, California, and I have got to state this as I put it on my Facebook page. We have a city of crime and grime. We took a bus tour yesterday. Yes, we took a bus tour of the Women's Council of Associated Real Estate Property Brokers, President Tammy Willis. We had approximately 35 realtors uh, um, and advocates. Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce was on board. We had lenders, and the houses in certain areas, it looked like a third world country. Bandit cars, homelessness. So I say all that to say this: crime and grime is destroying Oakland, California.
Mhm.
But the Mayor Libby Cheerleading Shaft, the mayor of Oakland, is more concerned about a billionaire getting funding for his $1 billion project. We have people getting shot in the street like animals right in front of City Hall. The mayor, to this very second, has not come out and said anything. Mayor Libby Shaft, I'd be so glad when you're 10 years up. In the 8 years that you've been here, look what you've created. Look what you've done. Nothing. And yes, that's coming from Doug Blackshear, not anyone else. This is my feeling out of my mouth to the mayor of Oakland, California. You sit in front of the NAACP with the president. You sit in front of the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce. What have you done for commerce here in Oakland? The studies clearly show on your watch where out of $500 million, 0.32%, that's $1.3 million going to black and brown businesses. And you call yourself a progressive. When you leave, I'm going to give a party that you left. Okay, enough of that, Dr. Ashley. So our thumbs down for the Black Business Roundtable from Art Douglas Blackshear goes to cheerleading Mayor Libby Schaaf for the condition of Oakland right now. And I will be keeping you abreast on shows to come how we are steady deteriorating in Oakland, California under cheerleading Libby Schaaf. Dr. Ashley, it's good to see you. Whew, wait.
You too.
Look at me. I'm doing your.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the police and ambulance take bodies away on
Okay.
Tuesday, and that is my frustration.
Yeah.
It is, and it's mainly affecting the Black people here in Oakland, and that is my passion for the mayor of Oakland, California, as she exit her 8-year destruction of the Black community in Oakland, California. Today's show highlights. Today we are speaking with Barack D. Obama Shaw, running for mayor of Alameda, California, which borders Oakland, California. So sit back, relax, and let Dr. Ashley and I give you the scoop right here on the Black Business Roundtable. Today, September 22nd, 2022. And as I said before, audience, I know you guys are not used to seeing me in a without my tie on, but I purchased this from a Black-owned business, Black-owned and operated, called Nate's for Men in City Center, Oakland, California. Please visit them. I purchased 3 shirts and 2 pair of socks, and I've been complimented numerous times on my taste in clothing, and I had to give Nate's for Men full credit. Nate's for Men. When you're down there, tell them the Black Business Roundtable sent you. Moving forward, our guests today include weekly check-in with our very own Dr. Ashley Coleman, Doctor of Psychology, tenured and immediate past department chair, assistant professor of psychology at University of the West. Welcome back, Dr. Ashley.
Thank you, Doug. Happy to be here.
Girl, I every time I look at you, so thank you. I'm toning it down. I mean, I just have to say one more time, audience. I saw police with their guns drawn. I saw men, Black men, body getting carried off by the coroner's wagon and the
Mm,
police department right in front of City Hall as they had a city council meeting. That is my passion today,
mhm.
why you hear me so fired up. Thank you. Oh, welcome back, Dr. Ashley. Our next guest will include Barack D. Obama Shaw, running for mayor of Alameda, California. Hashtag honor we stand. Hashtag Barack priceless politics. Hashtag Barack Obama Shaw. Hashtag Barack D. Obama Shaw. Hashtag Barack Obama Shaw. Hashtag Barack Obama for mayor. And his website is Barack at pricelesspolitics.com, Facebook. Barack Denzel. Now, for the national highlights, and I'm a little bit behind, audience, but I had to, I have 59 years in Oakland, and I'm tired of seeing Black men and women carried off by ambulance and police, and nothing's being done. Our national politic highlights. There seems to be some polling numbers that are changing as Warnock seems to be pulling away now against Herschel Walker by a few percentage points in Georgia. However, in Georgia, perjury Taylor Greene is at it again. She did not vote to codify interracial or gay marriage in her opponent, and her opponent, Mr. Marcus Flowers, has a biracial family. Get out and vote, people. Get out and vote, people. As our democracy depends on you. I wonder how Thomas is going to vote on that.
Mm.
Congratulations to Georgia candidate Marcus Flowers, Senator Raphael Warnock, Stacey Abrams, hashtag one, and that's ONE Georgia, hashtag one Georgia, and that's ONE Georgia. And also to Florida candidate Val Demings for being in the running in their respective races. My endorsement include Pamela Esquire is a candidate running for the Alameda County Democratic, or excuse me, Alameda County District Attorney. Alicia Victory, and a friend of the show, Esquire, is running for mayor of Oakland, California. Shang Tao, who I recently endorsed, is also running for mayor of Oakland. And the reason why I endorsed two people because Oakland has a ranked choice voting. So my two choices are Shang Tao, who is the City Council District 4, and Elisa Victory, who is friend of the show.
Mhm.
Also, Janani Ramachandran for District 4. And she won the Democratic Central Committee party endorsement. Give the gift of paying it forward and register to vote and help your community this year and into the future. As early as this week was National Voter Registration. If you need a check, if you need to check your voter status, you can do so quickly by Instagram at Marcus Ford Georgia or his website, Marcus 4, and that's forgeorgia.com, and at Marcus 4, and that's the numeral 4 Georgia, or hashtag send Congress flowers. I love that. Instagram at Raphael Warnock, or visit his website at Warnock4, and that's FOR Georgia.com. Hashtag Warnock4 Senate, and that's FOR Warnock4 Senate. Instagram at Stacey Abrams, or her website, stacyabrams.com, hashtag Stacey Abrams. Instagram for Val Demings at Val Demings, or her website, valdemings.com, hashtag Val Demings. Girl, I'm gonna let you take it away, and I hope you get some thing. Because once again, audience, seeing our black boys and girls, men and women, getting carried away by a coroner's vehicle and ambulance is just stressful for me and it's disheartening for me. Instead of getting these good paying jobs that our people do not seem to be getting in the city of Oakland, nor are black businesses getting contracts and getting the support for Libby, Mayor cheerleading Libby Shaft. So, Dr. Ashley, before I have a stroke and have to be carried away by ambulance myself. Next up, our weekly check in with our very own Dr. Ashley Coleman, Doctor of Psychology. Dr. Ashley, please take us away. And I'm going to take myself off the screen to get composure. Go ahead, Dr.
No,
Ashley.
I understand, Doug. It's very traumatic to witness violence and the aftermath of violence. And as always, with trauma, we have to think about the aftercare and the need for debriefing. So, greeting listeners. First, I'd like to share with you the news of the day and then share some reflections again as we continue into stress management in September. So, on this day, September 22nd, 1906, white mobs terrorized African Americans in Atlanta, killing dozens. And again, we want to acknowledge the Equal Justice Initiative and the calendar that they provide, which can be accessed through calendar.eji.org. Thank you again for keeping us abreast of, our unsung heroes and also experiences of trauma and resiliency. So on September 22nd, 1906, after local newspapers reported sensational allegations that several white women had been assaulted by black men, mobs of angry white men gathered in the streets of Atlanta, Georgia to attack and kill black men on sight. The mob seized black men on streetcars, trapping them inside and shooting or beating them to death. And when the streetcars suspended service due to the violence, the rioting mobs ransacked black businesses and chased, beat, and shot black men where they could be found. And the police and the fire departments called upon to quell the unrest failed to restore order, and the militia was unable to stop the violence. In a public statement during the rioting, Atlanta Mayor James Woodward placed blame on the Black men being killed rather than holding the white men doing the killing accountable. He was quoted as saying, "The only remedy is to remove the cause. As long as the Black brutes assault our white women, just so long will they be unceremoniously dealt with." And Mayor Woodward's statements empowered the mobs, and the massacre continued. For a total of 4 days, Black people were violently terrorized throughout Atlanta and its surroundings with little protection from authorities. And in contrast, when Black citizens of the nearby Brownfield suburb attempted to arm themselves in defense, well, Georgia troops raided their homes, taking weapons and arresting those in possession of weapons. And after 4 days of riots, between 25 and 40 people were dead and countless more were injured. So again, and thank you, Michael Haney. We see your comment. Tired of seeing it in Baltimore. Absolutely. There are cities throughout our country, again, where violence is occurring, and there definitely needs to be addressed in several ways. And so that was our news for the day. And now I want to share some reflections on, again, mental health in September. So as always, number one, oh, go ahead, Doug.
Audience, I apologize for my earlier passion, but I'm glad that my brother, Michael Haney, also indicated that not only here in Oakland, Alameda County in California, but on the East Coast, why don't we start electing politicians who care about all people? Because this is not just a Oakland problem. This is not an Alameda problem, and this is not a California problem. This is a United States of America problem. So, Dr. Ashley, I'm gonna take a break. Calm down, please. Take us away with those. Give me some words of wisdom.
But I share again, audience, and I, Doug, appreciate your, transparent thoughts. When we see trauma, often many emotions come up, including anger, and then it's just about how we channel it and how we use it. And so, many ways, again, in Oakland, and it's a 20-year cycle, it seems like, because I remember, again, before I departed Oakland about 20 years ago, feeling that same frustration, but as a youth and not being able to have access to activities like other peers that were living in suburbs. But here we are, another day. It's September. This is Suicide Prevention Month. So I want to definitely highlight some more resources for people. This is a great time to do some inventory. Sister Kwanda, thank you for watching. Yes, trauma is real, and so is our response to it. And so this is a wonderful time to consider checking in with a therapist. And so I want to acknowledge therapyforblackgirls.com, therapyforblackmen.org. Also want to acknowledge blackmenheal.org. So I'll be repeating those again at the end of my reflections. Today, what I want to talk about is self-sabotage. And the reason why it's coming up for me several times this week with things in the news is self-sabotage is one of the ways we forfeit success and we forfeit wellness. And I follow a page on social media. Social media can have a lot of things on there, but it can also be a source of resources. And so I follow a page for Black female therapists, and the handle on Instagram is at Black female therapists. And it's a wonderful community for mental health providers, but also for mental health consumers. And so they had a post today that I thought was very appropriate, given in the news, week after week and day after day, people really fumbling. And that's Black female therapists, plural, but we see people fumbling their successes. And it can be very frustrating because many of us we put forth so much effort to go ahead and secure wins only to not maintain it and see opportunities that were so hard to capture in the first place slip right through our fingers. Many of us may have those failures in the past, maybe contributing to a fear of success. And so, one of the ways we can reduce stress and also maintain our gains and our wellness is by preventing self sabotage. And so, here are some signs of self sabotage that the website highlighted that I just want all of us to consider. Are we doing some of these behaviors and can we catch ourselves before things get out of hand? Number one is ignoring signs you need a break. Okay. Again, I'm going to say that ignoring signs that you need a break. That's one sign of self sabotage. Why is that important? Well, to have a strong immune system is to help decrease the likelihood and susceptibility to illness. We are still in a pandemic. I don't care what anyone says. We are still in a pandemic. And having a strong immune system is very important going forward to, again, decrease the susceptibility of not just physical illness, but also increase mental wellness. So, burnout is real. As Sister Quanda, one of our viewers, is saying, trauma is real. And so, taking a break so that you can regain your strength. Again, we love sports around here. So taking a timeout or even a halftime break, don't quit, pause, re strategize, get your second, third, fourth wind, and keep going. Number two, attaching yourselves to others prematurely. We're looking at relationships. One of the ways we self sabotage is not holding ourselves in special regard and not necessarily vetting the people that we allow to connect to us and not evaluating these relationships. Are they reciprocal? Are they healthy? Is it safe to share good news with this person? Is it safe to share vulnerable or difficult news with this person? Does this person listen well to me? Do I listen well to them? Do we have similar values? So, again, attaching ourselves without evaluating people's character and seeing if there's compatibility. Is this person trustworthy enough to go into business with them? Should I share my idea with them or should I hold off? Have they earned my trust? So, again, attaching ourselves to others prematurely and then remaining attached to people after they show us who they are can also be detrimental. Number three, for the perfectionists in the audience, and hello, anything I say to you, I say to myself, taking on more projects than you have time to finish. We like to close the deals around here, that closing the deals is going to make you feel better about yourself and keep up your momentum and your short-term goals as you explore and actually go after your longer term goals. And so if you're taking on more than you can finish, that's a time to look at your boundaries. Is there a way that you can communicate or negotiate the timelines with opportunities? Oh, I'd love to take this on, but unfortunately, I don't have time right now. Or is there a way that I can get back to you when I'm done kind of addressing some things so that I can give this opportunity my full attention? I'm excited about this, but I'm really motivated to close out my month's goals or my year-end goals. Can we table this for another time? But again, you're communicating that you value your time, that you value the things that you've already committed to, and that rest and rejuvenation are a part of the success process. Number four, not asking for help when you need it. We have the strong Black woman stereotype. We have the strong Black man stereotype, where we are often asked to be superhuman to our own, to the detriment of our own well-being. Asking for help is very important. All humans need help. And if you're in situations where you can't ask for help or you're asking for help and you're not being heard, let me remind you again of number two is evaluating the relationships that you're in and seeing where you can negotiate and set boundaries to be heard. In a business context, can you take this up the chain? Because it's very important, again, to receive the help that you need. Five, agreeing to things that later cause resentment. That's again related to overextending yourself, taking on more than what you can. Be very realistic in your limitations, maximizing what you can do. I can do this, but I can't do that. Can we bring in someone else? Can we share this responsibility? I care about our loved one, but I can't be the only one driving to the appointments, right? So, really, again, being very honest about your capacity. And then, number six, and I want to highlight this, is sacrificing all your needs to stay in a relationship. Many of us woke up this morning, and if we looked at the news, we saw that there were prominent people, and often this happens, prominent people in the news and information about their relationship on all major networks. That is devastating. It can also be embarrassing. It can feel like an invasion of privacy and many things like that. Um, One of the things that we know will absolutely impact us are, again, the relationships that we decide to remain in. And so, as we're talking about self sabotage, don't let yourself be the weapon formed against you that doesn't allow for you to thrive. Okay, so in September, in stress management, not wanting to self sabotage, looking for ways that we can protect our wellness and increase it.
Dr. Ashley, once again, that's been an outstanding advice that we all need. And I have to be clear with you today. I needed to hear your soothing voice after this stressful past few days. And Oakland, and now hearing my brother out of Baltimore,
Mm-hmm.
we have to band together. This is no more time for bickering and fighting amongst each other. Thank you, Dr. Ashley. And I'll be contacting Michael Haney. And I listened to his show the other night, and they have the same job problem, employment problems, contracting problem in the Black community that we have here in Oakland, California. Maybe they got a Libby too out there. Anyway, moving forward, all month in September on our show, I am reminding our audience of the Affordable Connectivity Program, ACP. You may qualify for this national program depending on solely on your income, or if you participate in programs such as EBT, SNAP, Medicaid, WIC, Social Security, or other qualifying programs that for $10 to $30 off your internet bill, saving you annually anywhere from $120 to $360 or more a year. That's a good saving, especially in this challenging economic time. Or give up or give you free service on your current internet and phone provider, or alternate choice you choose. You might even get an upgrade of your current service for free. Yes, for free. The process is quick and easy. Check it out at affordableconnectivity.gov or Google ACP. This is a nationwide program. So at least if you qualify, and how about your college students living away from home having discount or free service? Now, I know paying that tuition is one thing, but paying the phone bill and tuition can be devastating.
Mm-hmm.
The process is quick and easy. Visit Affordable Connectivity or Google ACP. Thank you. What about aging seniors on fixed income? Pass it on and help those that you know get, and let them know how to get signed up online today. Audience, please welcome back our man, Barack D. Obama Shaw. Dr.
Well,
Ashley, can you
yeah,
please?
I'm going to read his bio. He's getting hooked up, but I just wanted to make a quick announcement. again in September. So first we have Women's National Girls Night. So to our sister listeners, this is a great time to reconnect with your girlfriends. And if you can't do it, don't feel comfortable doing it in person, to do it virtually, but just a great sister connection. One of mine reached out, and ours is going to be next Tuesday. So again, when's the last time you've gotten your girls together, whether in person or virtually, just a sister check-in? Also, on another side of stress management, we understand that people cope in many ways, and sometimes people look to check out and numb and do that with substances. And so today is actually National Online Recovery Day. And annually, we know that approximately 17 million Americans desperately need support when it comes to substance use. And those numbers have skyrocketed during the pandemic. And so what's great is that now we have telehealth, which can increase the accessibility to treatment. So if there's someone that you're noticing or wondering about, a loved one, just kind of reminding them that resources can be virtual from the comfort of their own home, as well as online support groups. And we do, again, confidentiality extends to telehealth. And so just give a loving nudge to someone you care about today.
Well, let's start all over with our famous name recognition, if nothing else. Welcome, audience. Let's welcome back Barack D. Obama Shaw. Dr. Ashley, please read this magnificent man's bio, who's going to be the next elected and the first elected Black mayor of Alameda, California, just outside of Oakland, California. Thank you.
Thank you. So Barack Denzel Obama Shaw is self-employed. He studied at Texas Southern University and resides in Alameda. He is originally from Houston, Texas, but we are fortunate to have him here in the Bay Area trying to make a difference. He considers himself a creative candidate who thinks outside the box, who has a rich vision for each and every person's future in Alameda, and who will bring an abundance of money, business, and resources for all Alamedans. And Barack D. Obama Shaw, running for mayor of Alameda, California, uses the hashtags Honor We Stand, hashtag Barack Priceless Politics, hashtag Barack Obama Shaw, hashtag Barack D. Obama Shaw, hashtag Barack Obama for mayor, and also hashtag Barack Denzel. He can be reached by email, Barack at pricelesspolitics.com, or through his Facebook page, Barack Denzel.
Awesome. All right.
Hi, Barack. How are you? Welcome back.
Oh, I'm phenomenal. Fantastic. Thank you for having me here.
Wonderful.
Barack, I have to be honest. Today I'm a little discombobulated because I know you've heard, being in the city right next door, we've had 4 Black men killed in a 24-hour period. And I have been devastated because the last killing, which happened in front of City Hall, I was getting ready to pick up some mail right across the street, and I saw the ambulance and the coroner's office take those bodies away. So
Wow.
forgive me, audience, forgive me, Barack, but my passion that runs deep for our people who are on the bottom of economics, housing, health, mental health, and everything you can think of, and to see this city in front of your eyes just deteriorate. So to that note, I just wanted to explain that, audience, and take a deep breath. I'm looking at every time I look at Dr. Wait a minute. Okay.
You got your stick. You got your stick, Doug, or your ball?
Yes.
Okay.
I had to run and get it because it's devastating here in Oakland. It's like a war zone. Barack, first of all, thank you for your service in our Army Reserves for 8 years and making two major life changes, the second being another change due to the 44th president. Please share with our audience what additional change you made in January of 2013. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. What you're saying, additional changes I made?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Well, the as far as my name has been updated to, it sounds pretty close to the 44th president, and to where you can't deny it, right? That it was influenced by Barack H. Obama the second. So it acts as a governor for me. So I said, well, if I'm gonna bear this name, I need to upgrade how I carry myself. Certainly, sometimes you're out and about. It's like, well, I'm not going to get any fist fights with this name. It's going to be terrible. Oh, Obama's out in the streets fighting people or something, you know. So it's governed how I carry myself, because my name, it's like I honor it, right? And I just recently started sharing it during this campaign season, now that I'm running for mayor here in the city of Alameda, because I really respect it, and I respect the our 44th president for who he has, who he's being, who he has been, and his family, Michelle. I mean, their children, everyone. They made such a big difference for me. In 2007 and 2008, we had that bubble that showed up. The real estate bubble popped, and we didn't know what to do. Now, some people may say, well, it was okay. No, I lived through that. It was tough. It was tough enough to have me to go into the military with a music background and being told what to do. It was really, really a challenging time. And I remember just being so overjoyed when Obama became president. It was like, this is not going to happen in my lifetime. It's not going to happen in my lifetime. That was just there for me. This is not going to happen. And when it happened, it's just the happiest time in my whole life. People were so excited. People of all nationalities, races, creeds, everything, everybody was happy, or not everybody was happy, but you could find groups of everybody that was happy. And I've never seen so much happiness in my lifetime in America. Never, ever. Now, I've seen videos of World War II, World War I, things like that. But it wasn't during my lifetime. So it was the most impactful event of my lifetime, greater than us leaving the planet. Far greater than that, because as far as I was concerned, it's like, this still is the same planet. We left, but we came. It's not much has changed, right? But it was a significant milestone, a whole new paradigm shift when Barack H. Obama became president. And if it wasn't for him, it would be no me. He really gave me the courage to actually look at the Constitution. It was just a piece of paper. He kept talking about the Constitution. I'm like, is he serious? Does he really think this paper is going to do something for us? Is he, And now I see the power of the Constitution now. But he was pointing to it. He was that North Star. That true north, that North Star that was kept me on course. When I was holding my head down, that's who he was for me, and sharing pretty much the same name, a big portion of my name, it has shaped my character, to answer your question. Yeah, definitely.
Dr. Ashley?
Yes. And Barack, tell us a little bit about your upbringing in Houston.
Oh, wow. Upbringing in Houston, I can't step over music. Music has always been there. I was raised by my grandparents, right? And my two sisters, and we had to live in the 2-story house that they built the addition for us because my grandmother had already raised her kids. And now she's raising us, right? And every Sunday you had to go to church. And that's where, whether you liked it or not, you were not going to stay in the bed. You're going to go to church. And so we went to church, and we heard music, and we prayed, and we heard the old 100 hymns. And I didn't know what they were talking about or singing or humming about, but we were put in the middle of it. And growing up is like, okay, you're going to do music like your dad. You're going to do music like your grandfather. Your grandfather did this. Your grandfather did that. Your grandfather have all these songs. And here's your dad on Soul Train in 1974 singing. He has the big old afro. I remember running downstairs. There's my dad on TV with Don Cornelius. And I was thinking, I'm going to do that. I want to be like my dad. But of course, I didn't really sing very much then. I was playing the trumpet. So I wanted to be like Louis Armstrong. So now I'm actually, you'll see there's I'm in an ad in the Alameda Sun, and I'm standing for creating fun, excitement, and adventure. And I'm holding a trumpet, right? Because that's like my roots right there. And so that was a big part of my upbringing. Music, studying music, looking at different music groups, rap groups, all of those things.
Well, Brock, when you went away to college, and tell us again the college you went to, and let us know what your major and minor areas of study were while you were in college. Thank you, sir.
The major, music. That was it. Mm-hmm. It was music, and I was in the Ocean of Soul marching band, playing the trumpet, and that's when I was looking at going on the road. I wanted to go on the road with New Edition. I had that vision of doing that, and so I learned how to play the piano. And started, I taught myself how to play the piano because I kept writing songs and I couldn't find a pianist who would just, who's going to just be at my beck and call. So that summer I taught myself how to play the piano. And from then I just, became a just full-fledged songwriter, just writing songs, learning songs and writing songs.
Well, how did you come to have the opportunity to live abroad?
Well, that showed up. I was on like a luxury vacation, and I met a lady that lived in London, and we looked at creating a life together. So what they say, nose wide open. So, and it looked, very exciting. And so I left to go to London, and then, the relationship wasn't as long as I wanted to last, right? Because we really don't know these things a lot of times. And but I said that I was going to embrace the culture and learn and just see what life is like outside of America, because I really didn't know. Didn't have a clue of how people thought of Americans or how I would see America being away. And that's what led me to go outside the country. Yes.
Dr. Ashley, please.
Mm-hmm. And bringing back to, sounds like you're open for an adventure and journeys. How did your journey then lead you to Alameda?
So how did it lead me to Alameda as far as originally, or
Yeah.
coming back? You mean
Ah,
coming back from London?
coming back from London.
Oh, coming back from London. It was a point in people are always, when you're out of the country, people are always asking when you're coming back. Right. You're having such a good time. I don't know. I don't know. And, the change of world events, it's been a change of world events of the situation with Ukraine and Russia. And so it was a pretty big shift over there in terms of how we was looking at living outside of the country. And so I was getting ready to make a shift to possibly leave, what we call a flat over there, an apartment, or we call it, a little flat. So I was looking at when I looked at relocating from where I was living, because I was very much comfortable there. I said, well, let's look at, I had the idea of coming back to America, restructuring my whole life, because I thought about all the things I could have done before I left. And I was like, you know what, if I ever go back, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. And I said, well, maybe I just go back and get a house, get my VA loan from the military, go ahead and take advantage of that. Go ahead and get that house, and figure out which state I'm going to live in. But when I got back, I got hit with politics. That's the thing that hit me when I got back. That was surprisingly right there, something that's been in the background most of my life, and there it was.
Well, I'd like to say this before I ask the next question. You are a true warrior to get into politics, because let me be clear here, audience. I've been part of the political system since 2016, and you have politicians, when they win, they are vicious, vindictive, and they use their powers to try to annihilate the person who ran against them. So I'm giving you a heads up that, be careful out here, because some of these politicians, when they win, they are vicious. They do everything they can to make your life miserable if they win. So I'll be talking more about that in the near future.
Okay.
And that's why I call you a warrior, and just giving you that. And with your personality, it's so calm and peaceful. So that's audience. This is the type of person we need, who has a constituent person. Now, I don't know how you're going to be when you get in, but if this is anything indicative of that, you got 2 votes for me. I can only vote once, but you got my vote here on the show, and you got my vote if I lived in Alameda. But last question before we go for a quick break. I understand you are a 4th generation musician, and you have a connection to the Ray Charles movie and autobiography. Can you share with our audience what the connection is? Thank you, sir.
Okay. 4th generation musician that I just recently found out about a couple of years ago. My Uncle Thomas Shaw, my grandfather's uncle, great uncle, my grandfather's uncle, was known as a blues artist, and I'm still finding out about him. He has a song called the Groundhog Blues. And maybe missing a word or two, but he was pretty well known, and so I just found out about him. So I thought it was only third generation. My dad told me, no, your Uncle Tom, Uncle Thomas, you need to check him out. So, but he inspired my grandfather to play the guitar, and my grandfather. The connection between the Ray Charles movie, my grandfather and Ray Charles were good friends. Inside, if you see the Ray Charles movie where he mentioned the Cecil Shaw Singers of Houston, Texas, that was my grandfather, and he really admired my grandfather's singing style. And I think that I could hear some inflections there, but that's what I hear, right? In the singing. So, but they were good friends, and Ray Charles's first wife was in my grandfather's singing group, Quartet Gospel. So, so that's been that was the connection, and he thought very well of highly of my grandfather, to where he also, before the movie came out, he was in the autobiography as well.
And on that note, audience, we're going to take a quick sponsor break to acknowledge the man, the myth, who made all this possible, including Barack Obama Shaw representation on the Black Business Roundtable. Dr. Ashley, please take us away.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Donnie Glover of BlackUSA.news. Listeners, be sure to tune in to our sister shows, Chaplain Friends on Mondays, Party Marty Let's Talk on Tuesdays, Black USA Crypto News with Kamal Hubbard on Fridays. Remember, he knows all about blockchain and cryptocurrency. On Saturdays, there's the Blackout Live from New York with Tajmir, and on Sundays, 60 Minutes in Black USA with Michael Haney. And to join our Black Business Roundtable advertisement family, or to be a possible guest on the show, you can reach us by our email address, bbrt2021@hotmail.com. In your email, please include your company name, its website, as well as other contact information to be considered as a guest for our show. Also, our friend Janani Ramachandran Esquire, friend of the show, who's running for District 4 in Oakland, California. And let me make sure to highlight this, because our producer wants to make sure we get this endorsement right. Alameda County Democratic Party endorses Janani Ramachandran. So we've got it. Again, very happy for her endorsements. Looking forward to getting her back, but I've been watching her social media, Doug. I don't know if you've checked it out, or Barack, but she's doing wonderful things in the community. So catch her, follow her Instagram page. Her handle is @Janani4 Oakland. Or you can visit her website, JananiFOROakland.com, and find out how you can get involved and support. Now, back to our new segment again with Barack D. Obama Shaw. Barack, can you tell us what influenced your decision to run for the mayor of Alameda, and then what obstacles have you faced since becoming an official candidate?
I think we have some technical. Well, since we have a few extra minutes, according to our producer, and Dr. Ashley, she keeps us up on time. Did you get her text?
Yeah, that's how I told you. We're good. Everything's fine.
Well, until he comes back, I'd like to update our audience in Oakland, California, Alameda County, California, specifically the Oakland area. Pamela Price, who's running for district attorney, won 43% of the votes in the first runoff with 4 including herself. The Alameda County Democratic Central Committee, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, playing politics with changing social justice that has not been inclusive in the Alameda County Alameda County District Attorney's Office. And I had to point that out because Rebecca Kaplan, who's running for supervisor in Alameda County, she won the endorsement. And she's and she was one of my picks. Janani Ramachandran. Shane Tao, who's running for mayor of Oakland, and she's done some outstanding work, better work than some of the city council people who are the same color as us on this stage here. So we have our special guest back, but I wanted to put that out there. We have got to stop playing politics in these political parties, because that is what makes the voters think that it's a sham. It's rigged. Okay, I'm going to use Trump word. We got to stop rigging these Democratic endorsements and the Alameda County Democratic Central Committee endorsement proceedings. Welcome back, Barack D. Obama, candidate running for mayor of Alameda. Let's, Dr. Ashley, I think the next question's on you. Thank you.
Yes, I'll pose it again. Just Barack, what influenced you to run for the mayor of Alameda? And can you tell us your experience thus far since becoming an official candidate?
Oh, those are great questions. Very good. Well, when I was out of the country and speaking to a lawyer about what I could do in the country as far as what type of work is available, what type of visas are available, we just looked at, well, okay, what's my background? What was I doing in America? And I went through everything, all of my accomplishments. And when I got to the end, I thought about, he said, okay, anything else? And I thought, well, I think that's about it. And then that's when I stopped, and I just said, I thought to myself, I said, well, wait a minute. You can accomplish more than what you've accomplished. You could have done a little bit more. What you can do more, you can be more, you can have more, you can share more, you can explore more. Why so little? Why so little? And it just, I had it conceptually at one time, right? If you're going for it in life, if you're up to big things in life, you kind of know you're not doing it. But when I was outside of the country, it really hit me. And I said, if I ever get back into the United States, and whenever I go, if I ever hit foot back in the United States, I'm going to hit the ground running and take advantage of all those opportunities I've walked past all of my life. I took advantage of some, but when I was out of the country, I saw it's so much more I can accomplish in this country. And that day, when I got back, May 13th, I said, hey, May 14th, the next day, I do my little morning meditation and said, go into politics. I said, what? Go into politics. Really? Okay. All right. And here I am.
Wow. Well, in your story, Barack, what you just shared with us, I hear the self-reflection and the accountability. And in my opening remarks, I talked about self-sabotage. And one of the ways we can prevent self-sabotage is by telling ourselves the truth. And so what you said really resonated when you said, well, I'm going to take back and go pursue the opportunities that I didn't take fully advantage of. So not only were you able to pivot, but also checked in with yourself and said, you can be more focused, you can go harder. And so that type of self-reflection, I'm not surprised that you engage in meditation. And so just wanted to link that. So I also have the pleasure of asking you the next question. So Little Birdie told us that yesterday evening you participated in the Alameda Mayor Candidate Forum that was hosted by the League of Women Voters and moderated by Anna Crane in Alameda, California. So we were told that you were gracious, that you acknowledged the work of the past mayor, And that just also says a lot about you, and your demeanor. But that you also raised some interesting topics that we want to give you an opportunity to pick and choose what you want to highlight and elaborate on. But I'll just read these for the audience. And then, Barack, please, choose which ones that you want to give us a flavor of what your
Okay.
platform represents. But audience, this sounds great when we think of, you mentioned child safety. Again, children being safe in school. You mentioned police training, working with the unhoused in the Inside Out program, pay raises for teachers, interdependence, neighborhood watch, and creating an identity for Alameda. So some wonderful ideas there. And again, this is what you mentioned. I know other counterpoints kind of talked about Alameda as a city of quote crisis, and really were focused on the challenges. And it sounds like you had, again, ideas. Being a musical mind means you also have creativity. So can you share with us some of your creative ideas on addressing the challenges in Alameda and the opportunities for growth?
Yes. Well, one thing that how I see it is, we can just like it's like an individual, right? So an individual could try to just hold on to the money they have, and they're holding on to their money, and that's it. They just like, okay, I'll pay $1 here, $20 here, and just hold on to their money, and that's all they got. I'm just going to hold on to this money, and that's the plan. That's it, right? And then as that individual matures and they start thinking, studying wealth, they'll start thinking about streams of income, right? And creating leverage, right? So I'm looking, as a city, I see that's what's wanted and needed. Instead of trying to hold back the purse strings, are like, well, we got it because we'll just put some money here and some money there. It's like, I said, no, let's open up the whole city. Open up the floodgates and welcome the whole world here, and be the place that people want to visit, where people want to bring their corporate executives here and get trained and get developed in the service industry and in leadership, and then they can go fly to Hollywood afterwards, and make their rounds here in Alameda and enjoy the tourism that's available here, doing something different and experiencing the culture and the people, and just the wonderful. We still have the wonderful, great weather here as well. It's still part of California, right? So that's what I was speaking to. And in having that identity, I'm looking at creating that identity to where people know, we know why people go to Hawaii. We just like, you're going to Hawaii. We know why you're going there. Mm-hmm. And some people might say, well, that's Hawaii. Well, it's up to us to build that type of reputation here, whichever identity that we can align on, build that here to where people will be speaking highly of us, and we can build what type of reputations we were talking about, different cities, and what type of reputation is over here in this neighborhood. Oh, that's a bad neighborhood, right? Well, they built up that bad reputation. Or we can build a great reputation, but it's really up to the people to just get under that vision and just stand for it, and know that their existence, that their life is above existence, and there's a creative life that's happening, a life worth living. a life that they're excited about. When they're excited about getting up and seeing the day, because something magical is happening. Not, oh, we put the money on this. Well, we put the money on that too in a month of. Okay, that's a given. That's supposed to be done. What are we doing over and above just paying the bills? That's what I was bringing to the table on last night, and every time I talk to someone, and people are just genuinely lit up by a city with a purpose, like being a person without a purpose, a teenager, young adult without a purpose. But same thing with a city. We're standing to be a city with a purpose, and putting the whole world on notice that you want to visit Alameda. So that's what I want to share.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask the next question, sir. That was so eloquently stated, and you are right. And I want to further state with that statement that it's hard to get people to come to Alameda when they have to come through war-torn zone, Oakland, California, where they're killing people in front of City Hall at a city council meeting. Right outside the city council meeting, people are getting gunned down, drive-by. Shame. And then you got to get off the airport in Oakland, and you got to see a third world country look, where you got homeless people, you got burglary. If you rent a car and you stop at any of the restaurants or hotels down by Hagenberger, you're subject to get all your stuff stolen. And this is going on in Oakland, California under Mayor Libby Schaaf tenureship, the last 8 years. It's shame, shame, shame. To that end, another question asked was about the candidate statement and the exuberant cost, which increased to $5,000 per year. And if candidate,
4,500, yeah.
Okay, 4,500.
5,000.
Okay, yeah. Let's go $4,500 a year. And if candidates should continue to expect to pay this fee, or if the election process should decrease and assist with this cost, please share with the audience your thoughts and fees, and if it hurts or helps the election candidate pool. And I say that because in Washington, D.C. now, they're trying to change the laws regarding the election process. But the way they have it now, you have to be a millionaire to run for office. Go ahead, Mr. Barack Obama. Thank you, sir.
Well, I spoke about that as you also earlier as a question of what's my experience. There's the experience of your own public display, 24 hours, 7 days a week. That takes something to be that vulnerable. You're that vulnerable, whether you like it or not. Even if you're trying to hold something back, you're vulnerable, right? And everybody's watching. Everybody's watching what you're saying and watching. Oh, you made a mistake here. You made a mistake there. Oh, you're doing it. And you don't. A lot of times when you make a mistake, it's not that. It's up to here now because of that. So it takes something. Yeah. So, but were you about to say something?
I want to say, and if you black, you have to be flawless. If you black, now I want to liken that with Trump. Trump did everything in the rule, even said he could kill somebody in the middle of Times Square. Can you imagine if Barack Obama said that?
Well, no, I can't. I can't imagine him ever saying something like that. No, unless he's in some type of sitcom, some comedy show. It's like, oh, he's playing like he's, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, it's it's a challenging situation already, right? And then so you're thinking about the democratic process. I got over here and started thinking like, this is my first time in America, and I'm going to take advantage of all those opportunities. And there's, if it was I say if it was even if it was more than what they're asking, 7,000, 8,000, it was stated that I spoke in general as for what the impact on a person could be. Now, I chose not to pay that fee. And I said to myself, it's got to be worth it. I'm not paying. I love Michael Jordan's tennis shoes, but I'm not paying like $10,000 for a pair of tennis shoes. I'm just not, or $5,000 for a pair of tennis shoes. So it's got to be. I got to see that it's worth it to do something like that. And I think that's just being responsible. You wouldn't buy a $5,000 pair of socks. I wouldn't. Somebody would, but I wouldn't, right? So, and that's how it was for me. And I said, well, I'm going to have to find another way, look at other ways of investing that money and looking at investing that money in the local newspapers and keeping it home. That's what I figured I was going to do. And that's what I've been doing ever since.
And I need to ask you a question that's related to this ridiculous ranked choice in Oakland, California. The Alameda Mayor Candidate Forum also asked each candidate about ranked choice voting.
Mm-hmm.
Share with the audience your thoughts on ranked choice voting and the pros and cons that you see will be a detriment to the voting system in Alameda, as it has been in Oakland, California. Thank you.
Right. Well, we're speaking about voter fraud already. Okay. It's whether we can prove it or not prove it, it is a conversation. It just is, right? And we're also in our the voter mail out. They're assuring that we can still have the mail in. So it's all in the background, right? It's like, are these votes going to count? Is it going to be really hard to vote? Or are they shutting out certain people? So in that case, I spoke about, well, I hear the idea, but let's see it. Put it on video. Let's see the thing work. This system that let's put it on a roll. Let's test drive it. Let's see it. Before we buy it, let's have a test drive so we can make sure this thing works. And and then we can also do the research in other places that did like in your city, did it work properly? Your city, did it work properly? Okay, it's working properly everywhere. See if you can have it not work properly. No, it's infallible. Okay, go for it. Well, because every vote counts.
Well, I asked that because I'm out here trying to recruit new voters in Oakland, California. We're going to have several teams together in areas that have been disenfranchised, have given up, returning residents, etc. But the biggest question that I get asked before Dr. Ashley asks her last question, why should we be a Democrat, be in a Democratic Party? Because you guys are acting like the Republicans. So, Dr. Ashley, take it away.
Yeah, we have just a couple more questions for you, Barack. We know you have to get out of here soon. But my next question is, during the debate, the question was posed about the California Surplus Land Act. And just for our listeners, again, that's when a city has surplus properties that are available the city, and the priority is to turn that real estate or that property into housing, and not just any housing, but affordable housing. What was your response? I understand that you shared some reflections on that. So what was your response to the question about the California Surplus Land Act?
Well, my response, I don't know if verbatim, but my response was, so I'm still looking at the different streams of income. So I said, I think we should lease it out, for people, and we can have that money coming in, and count on it. And it also, you would have to look at how long that lease would be. And then there was a comment later about the management of that. And there was a concern about, well, maybe the management would be too much to manage it. But the old saying is, if you can't, stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. That's part of it, and these with big projects, sometimes you might have to put a little extra elbow grease in and to have things to work. And the other point they made was how the lease was, that is about 5 years. Well, maybe you can have a conversation to extend that, and a conversation to extend it further. So I am that anything is possible. Anything is possible. And we put a man on the moon. We saw a bird flying, and we created airplanes. We have people living on the water in submarines. Anything is possible. That's what I bring to politics. Anything is possible. Where there's a will, there's a way. And my definition of politics is it's problems destined to be solved. Every problem has a solution.
I hear that hope, that kind of theme of hope, optimism, solution focus, similar to your namesake. So I do see that linking and that approach. Yes.
If you don't have any hope, you'll probably be hopeless. And we don't want that. No.
Barack.
Yes.
What are the 3 top issues you feel need more attention at this time for the residents of Alameda? Example, crime, homelessness, affordable housing, politics versus politricks. And I want to say that one again, politics versus politricks. Please give us your 3 issues that you need to be addressed in Alameda. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I think in terms of what needs to be addressed is, I think we really need to get the facts, actually, because we can come from opinions, and I think once we really get the facts in terms of crime, well, okay, I spoke to Chief Joshi, and who's the chief here in Alameda. So instead of, I hear this is happening with the police, I hear that is happening with the police, the crime, the break-ins with the cars, and I wanted to go straight to the source, find out really is crime really the problem? Is crime really the problem? And what is happening with them? You hear all of this stuff, right? So let me go. So when I talk to him, actually he's hired so many more police officers ahead of schedule, and he's going to have 88 police officers, I think about March, a total of 88 police officers. And we also looked at I think there was once they had over 100 and something police officers, 100 and I believe 14. But They chose to have the city chose to have a lesser number, right? So, okay, there's going to be a gap right here that needs to be worked out. And we spoke about that gap that's there, and we're looking at creating a community neighborhood watch. And so I talked to the chief about that, and he said, yeah, that would be great if we had the neighborhood watch and we could have block captains, but we need to teach them and show them what they can do and what they can't do. It's a great idea. We could definitely do that. So he was up to dealing with that. So as far as I'm concerned, that's being managed. That's being powerfully managed in terms of, so we already have that moving in the right direction. Absolutely. And he's also looking at having crime analysts that has their data, and from the 12 different beats that he's broken up the city into, to see where is this crime happening and why, and look at the statistics on an hour, minute by minute, hour basis. So this man has a plan. And I'm clear about it now because I went and got the facts. That's what has to happen. And so once someone gets the actual facts and the plan, then the next thing is to communicate that to the people. So people won't have that as a concern anymore. Right? So when there's restlessness and people are not aware of what's happening in reality, we make up things. And usually the things that we make up from that standpoint of view are negative. We make it worse than what it is. So, yeah. So that's my answer to that question right there. I would say to really see if we really have that top three. Maybe those things are all connected, but let's really look at it. Let's really look at the what-so of it.
Dr. Ashley, please.
Actually, Doug, back to you because my question was answered already.
Oh, okay. Well,
because that's an important question you have.
Well, how do you feel that you differ, Barack, from the other two candidates running for mayor, the incumbent and the additional candidate, besides the obvious gender and that you are a man of color? Thank you, sir.
I would say I'm a person of possibility. I live this way. I live this way. I don't start talking about possibilities when the camera's on. Yeah. I'm in possibilities before my feet hit the floor every day. I won't get out of the bed unless I'm in possibility, that I am have a positive mindset. I won't get out of the bed. So it's not like, oh, I'm running, running for political office. Let me come up with some positive stuff now. Let me come up with a positive smile. No, this is who I am all the time. So that's the difference. I don't have to get ready for it. Like James Brown said, you're already ready. I don't have to get ready. I'm already ready. Stay ready.
Dr. Ashley, and the last question, I pass the ball to you. I know we got a hard stop for Barack.
Yeah, definitely. And I like that attitude and that mindset, Barack. So the demographics.
If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, that's a way of life. And the demographics of Alameda residents consist of approximately 40% white, about a third Asian, and about 7% Black. Again, how do you think these statistics of the residents impacts how issues impacting the people of color communities, how they're addressed?
As far as how it's for people of color, you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't see, I think what's there when we look at the numbers, when we look at numbers, we could easily say we can start making up stuff around numbers. We can start, speaking for the numbers, because I could possibly say that myself, because this is not a predominantly Black area. Don't run. Right? I could say that. There was no chance for me. No. It's I think there's an opening for communication and an opening for people here. They just need the right leadership to find their voice. But the voice is there, but they just need the right leadership to know that they can speak and that they will be heard. Like myself. Leadership like myself.
Well, this has been one interesting episode, having a couch conversation.
Yeah. Can I say something about Oakland before we go?
If you don't, I will. Go ahead.
Well, I'm creating interdependence. That's a part of the platform, is that people take ownership of their city, ownership of their neighborhoods. Like, this is my neighborhood. Instead of looking around, who's going to do something about this? Somebody needs to do something about Oakland. We keep forgetting that you're somebody. You're somebody. You're the person you've been looking for all your life. You. And you, and you, and you, and you, and you. And once people get that they're somebody, take ownership of their city, then things will change. Things will shift. Humanity will flip on its end, and Oakland will have a transformation. No doubt about it. Because people will stop tolerating somebody's going to do it. Somebody's going to do it. They say, no. If it's to be, it's up to me. It's up to me if it's to be.
You could drop the mic on that one.
Honestly, but I appreciate those comments, because I think, leadership is very important, but you are calling people to be accountable, and water cannot get in the ship unless there's a crack. And so again, what we're not also talking about is the way in which we have cared for in some aspects and neglected our own communities. And I'd love to continue having that conversation about interdependence.
Absolutely. That's key.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Barack, for joining us, sharing your platform, your insights, more about your background. We appreciate you. And finally, just how can people, I know that you may be looking for volunteers, it sounds like. So again, how is it Barack at pricelesspolitics.com where people
That's correct.
Interested? Okay.
Yes.
Well,
all right.
I'd like to say this. We welcome you to come back onto the show. We will follow you and make sure that you get a fair election process so that people in this country, in this state, in this county, in this city, including the city of Alameda, will know that the Democratic Party, we're going to help it become a fair and equitable, and that's a key word, equitable, diverse party, because the biggest words I hear from Black people, specifically Black people, that is not fair to Black people. And we have to change that. And you are part of that change. Thank you very much, Mr. Barack D. Obama Shaw. We commend you. And once again, you are a warrior just to get into the election process, because it is a beast.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time on the Black Business Roundtable. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Dr. Ashley,
Mhm.
we are wrapping up another outstanding show today. And audience, we, our producer, Dr. Ashley and I, we wanted to give our audience a fair uh, a look at our politicians who are running, because we have got to get this. I'm gonna get you, sucker. If I win, you on my blackball list. We need people who are going to start when they win. We unite. We come together, because at the end of the day, it's the Democratic Party. And if we keep playing these stupid politics, Democrats going to just say, "Well, I could be a Republican and do this." So please, audience, write your local, county, state, and even federal Democratic Party and tell them we're tired of these politics instead of politics. You heard it first here on the Black Business Roundtable. Dr. Ashley, can you give our announcements? Look like we might be wrapping it up early, because if we have a few extra minutes, I got some more. I would like to follow up on this clothing store. Once again, my shirt that I bought from a Black owned and operated men's clothing store in Oakland, California. Dr. Ashley, please.
Absolutely. And so, listeners, we want to invite you to visit our online friends of this show, Millennial Democrats, and their handle on Instagram is at millennial.democrats or hashtag Millennial Democrats. And they call out politics and politicians. And again, we're hoping to connect with them and try to get them on the show. We also have a favorite law school student who shares his perspective, again, from a Black male, from a Black man's law student perspective. His handle is the Masked Law Student or hashtag the Masked Law Student on his YouTube channel. Again, thank you, Mr. Donnie Glover, for your platform. Listeners, we have Chap and Friends on Mondays. We have 2 shows on Tuesdays. We have Titillating Tuesdays with Stacey Dennis and Party Marty Let's Talk. We have the Black USA Crypto News with Kamal Hubbard on Fridays. We have the Blackout Live from New York with Tashmir. And on Sundays, we have 60 Minutes in Black USA with Michael Haney. Michael, thank you for jumping in the comments and showing us love today. A final invitation to join our BBRT advertisement family or to be considered as a possible guest on the show. Email us at bbrt2021@hotmail.com. Please remember to include your contact information as well as all the contact information about your business. We look forward to receiving your emails and to reviewing for consideration of being on this show.
Audience, as we close out, I want to give a few seconds of silence to those Black men who were killed in a 24-hour period in Oakland, California. Thank you. And I'd also like to put out such that from coast to coast, from north to south borders, Black people, we have to come together. We are being destroyed here in the United States economically, health, housing, business. And until we come together and pull our vote, put politicians in who are going to fight for all people. I don't care if you're white, Black, Asian, Hispanic, or other. Them, they, or those. Some of these politicians, when they get elected, they come in there with a chip on their shoulder and they're going to get the other person who they lost or they won over. We need to, and I'm going to start naming them. So you better get your act together. And Dr. Ashley, you know me, I'll call out a name in a minute with the data to prove it. So you politicians, when the election is over, let's unite together. Second, in the city of Oakland, our mayor, current mayor, Libby Cheerleading Shao, you got 2 months left. Show some love to the Black people in Oakland. Don't just take pictures to the nonprofit presidents and leaders. You got 2 months to make a difference, and you can. I'm humbly begging you. We got Black people getting killed right in front of City Hall. What are you going to do? That's the question. Is your legacy going to be people getting killed in front of City Hall on the day of City Council, or is your legacy going to be getting out here and saying something? You have not said a word, and you ought to be shaming yourself. Mayor Libby Schaaf, you ought to be shaming yourself. Thank you, Dr. Ashley, for allowing me to vent that. Once again, when I saw those bodies being hauled off, more Black people in the city of Oakland getting killed, and our mayor not saying anything. Black businesses being destroyed. Mayor Libby Schaaf not saying a word. On that note, audience, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you. We return next week, September 29th, 2022. Our guests will include my brother, my man, and I was at his fundraiser last night at a Black business restaurant and bar. His kickoff, which included Elihu Harris, Honorable Elihu Harris, several Black supervisors. Mr. Robert L. Harris was there. He has an all-star lineup, folks, of wise counsel who's going to help him bring back equity on city council with some of the few council people who are looking out for the Black constituents in Oakland. So once again, our next week guest will be candidate running for District 6, Kevin Jenkins of Oakland, California. We look forward to seeing you every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Black USA News Network on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you, audience, for tuning in. And remember, together, we can listen, we can learn, and we can share. Because I know you care. I know you care. This is Doug Blackshear and my ride or die. Keep me out of the psycho ward, Dr. Ashley Coleman of the Black Business Roundtable. God bless and good night. Thank you for joining in today.